Okay, so today we're going to be working with Drive. I'm going to show you guys how to set up a folder and how to share it with me. That way all of your work for English 1 and English 1 honors can be organized in one central area where I will have access to it as rapidly as you have access to it, and I can see your changes in real time. The first thing you got to do is get into your Drive. If you're working in Chrome and you're logged in, you'll see in the upper right hand corner up here is where your apps would be. So you click on that and go to Drive. If you're working in a different browser, you can go to your inbox that LaSalle has provided you with for your Gmail account, and right next to your name up there you would have your apps there as well. So you click on Drive and it'll pop up with everything that you have in there. I have a lot more, it's just under a different folder. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to Create. And when you click on Create on the left hand side here, you will create a folder. The way that you title this folder is very important. I want you guys to title it first with the period number, so you're going to write period 2, so if you're in period 2, or period 3, or 4, or 5, so forth. Period 2, and then I want you to write your last name, and then your first name. Reason being that my folders will automatically alphabetize you, and I want your last name to be the first one. That way when I see it come in, it goes the right period and then in the right order. So Create. And now, this is wrong, doing it John Doe. It wants to be Doe John. So I'm going to go ahead and click in there. There's nothing here. It says drop files here. So I'm going to have you continue creating folders in here, and you're going to create 5 of them for my class. The first folder I'm going to have you create is going to be a composition folder. Composition makes up 25% of your grade if you are in English 1, and it makes up 30% of your grade if you are in English 1 honors. I will tell you guys when it is a formal composition, and that will be stored in this folder. You should have 3 to 4 formal paragraphs and correspondingly 3 to 4 resubmissions throughout the semester. The second folder that I'm going to have you create is going to be informal writing. And the informal writing will be for in-class writes, responses, sharing ideas, a number of different activities that we'll do, but these are not going to be graded for a formal composition in that category. They may be graded as homework, or they may be just an exercise that I want you to do for practice. I'm going to want you to create a literature folder, and this will be used for your annotated text if you write on it in PDF in a different app, and then you can upload it to Drive from there. Or maybe formal literature responses if I have a question for you, or just notes that you take in class. I will also have you create a project/presentation folder. And this is where you'll save anything, anything that you do in Google presentations, any kind of a project that I have you do where you're working online. All of that will be stored here, and that'll go into your test projects category in your grade. And then finally, I'm going to have you do a grammar folder. This will be used for a variety of different assessments and exercises that you will be doing. Some of that will be work in Blackboard. Some of it will be stuff that you create on your own using Google Docs, Google Draw, etc. So, you have composition, grammar, informal writing, literature, and project or presentation. Now what you need to do is share this with me. So you're going to go to the folder itself, you're going to go to share, and then you're going to invite me to share it with you. Okay, this is the entire folder. It's period 2, it's not one of the subfolders. So you're going to type in my email address, rlaird@lasallehs.org, and you'll notice down here at the bottom that it popped up automatically. Anybody within the LaSalle network, if you start typing in their name, their email address will pop up. Now the variables within Drive that you need to be aware of are the editing rights. First off, it's can edit or can view. I want you to share it with me with editing rights. Reason being, then I can put comments in on all your documents. I can see if you're disorganized. I can give you a pointer on how to reorganize. I can do a number of different things that I would not be able to do if I could only view. I assure you I'm not going to go through and mess with any of your content. If I did, even in Google Drive, you could go back to a previous edition or a previous draft. It has an editing history that is really amazing. So you can go back and recover anything that you might have changed if you did it inadvertently, or if you think that I was messing with you, which, like I said, I won't do. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing, notify people via email. If you are sending something specifically to me, if you're sharing it with me in this drive, I don't want an email every time you add something. If you need me to look at something, send me a separate email and just say, hey, Mr. Laird, can you go into my literature folder and look at my response to whichever story we might be reading, and then I can do that. But I don't need an email message every time. And then finally, this little guy down here at the bottom is kind of sneaky. It's saying that editors are allowed to add people and change the permissions. As a habit, you should probably pull that out. It'll automatically do that whenever you share with somebody, but you don't necessarily want somebody being able to take your work and pass it on down the line. In an ideal world, we could trust everybody. Again, I would not do that, but you should probably just get in the habit of only the owner, being you, can change permissions. So I'm saving that, and then I've got myself invited, got that, can't edit, and you're going to click OK. Yes. And now I am done. And if I go over to, and I can click off my drive, so, and I will go, this is my school drive, and I go to shared with me, and right there at the top is period 2, Doe John, and I've got all the folders, and I can go in and access them and see what kind of work is in there. So, create a folder labeled period and your period number, your last name first, then your first name, and then within that folder, these 5: composition, grammar, informal writing, literature, and project or presentation, and then share the whole folder with me on Drive.